Hi guys, welcome at Wavect. Today with Bill from Cryptonary. Would you like to introduce yourself? You already have great insights in the NFT and crypto market and do a lot of research in that area. So I'm very grateful to have you here and thank you for your time.
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be on today. My name's Bill. I work at Cryptonary and we're a research firm that specializes in crypto. More specifically, my job, I'm the lead Web3 developer at the company. So I look to build infrastructure and integrate with blockchains to help show that not just a research company, but also active in crypto. And in general, I focus on NFTs and the Solana ecosystem. And that initial passion and research has then led me to be a developer on these things. So I've learned the space both from the outside and the inside. And I'm here today to talk with Kevin and discuss NFTs in general. I'm really happy to be here.
Amazing. Thank you for being here again. And so I think it would be interesting for most of the viewers because many of them won't know Cryptonary. Would you like to explain in a couple of sentences, besides the basic research, what kind of things you do or maybe offer or what your current projects are? I think that could be interesting.
So at the moment, Cryptonary is primarily a free service. So we look to cater to people who are looking to learn about crypto. We believe that education is where things start, and it's important that people understand why crypto, not just, you see, crypto pumps, NFTs are worth a lot, hype, etc. We want people to understand why these things have value. And I'm just going to make a little detour. As many of you know, I myself, I'm not a war expert or political expert, but the sanctions that we're seeing against Russia with the SWIFT system, the sanctions against the truckers in Canada, these just show that these are all measures that could be used against yourself. You don't know where the line is. At what line is it terrorism and they freeze your financial and whatnot? And it's important to understand that crypto lets you escape this feel. Your money is yours. It's something that in England, many people say possession is 9/10 of the law. So if you have it, it's most likely yours, right? But with money, it's in the bank, it's under your name, but it's not really yours. And crypto alleviates that. So as a whole, you could think that we look to educate our users on what crypto is. And then for people who are more interested and are looking to get some more in-depth research, there is a paid membership. But the majority of our content, so around 90 to 95%, is free. And that is, we want to educate you, and then hopefully you can understand why it's worth learning more about this and look to specialists to help guide you on that. I think that's Cryptonary in a nutshell.
Okay, thank you for that. For all of the viewers, Bill said that he has an explanation link, like a video talk about NFTs itself. It's gonna be around 3 hours, so if you have some time or are interested to dive deep into that topic as well, I will put the link in the description below, so for your reference. Now I would like to dive deep into the NFT space itself. And first of all, I would be curious about why do you invest NFTs personally, and what's important for you when you think, or what makes you buying an NFT basically? Right?
Look, the NFTs are something which a lot of people don't fully understand, but they know about them. So why do I say this? Well, there are certain things that everyone in the world knows about. If you think about watches, nearly everyone knows about fancy, expensive watches, Rolexes, etc., etc. Look at cars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris. But what makes these things special? Well, there's not a lot of them. There's quite a few of them. There's a limited supply. And if you have one, it means you have a certain status that you were either someplace at some time. And this is when I talk about fashion. So this is when you look at expensive sneakers or limited edition ones. The sneaker itself is not something expensive to manufacture. It gets so much value because it's in a limited supply and you have to be there to buy it. So it kind of stamps that you were there at the moment it released and you could also access it. And of course, if it's not that, it means that you have enough money to pay however much they cost in the aftermarket. And this is the same thing with everything. Lamborghinis, Rolexes, all of these status symbols. Look at Instagram blue check marks, right? We know people can pay for them. What are they? They're status symbols. Long story short, what are NFTs? Well, bluntly, they're status symbols. Yes, they have multiple other applications for artwork, paying royalties to artists, letting creators come from nowhere and have a presence, keeping artists anonymous, making sure financial transactions are secure and people don't get, rug pulled. Well, they could resolve that. We haven't still figured that out. But long story short, NFTs are a status symbol and they fall in the same category as any other luxury good that we see today.
Okay, great explanations. Okay, for all of the viewers, if you have some questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. We will answer them after the podcast or stream as well. So I think there are many tutorials or NFT to-dos or to checks out there, but basically I think what most of them lack of is like personal experience. So what would be, I think that's also a quite interesting or funny topic as well.
Yeah.
What's the greatest fuck-ups, rocks, scams you bought into and possibly why? Could you have avoided that?
So look, the first thing that everyone needs to know, no one is a perfect trader, right? Anyone who tells you they're really good, they've had their fair share of fuck-ups, and I'm included in this. And some things are down to luck. Now, I say luck becomes or manifests when it's a combination of both commitment and skill. So if you do things correctly and you do them enough times, at some point you will get lucky. Now, there is, of course, always a time-based opportunity cost. What I mean by this, it's different if you were in the market now or last year in January. Things change the way the market goes, etc. There are different opportunities at different times. One thing we see in crypto, and in general, crypto is the only industry I've seen this in at least, is that every month there is without fail one thing that goes big. It's whether you can find that one thing. Is it Axie when they moved to Ronin and you had NFTs or tokens back in the day? It might be that. Was it Solana in January when it was $2? Was it, I don't know. I'm just going to pause here. I need to let my cleaner in. I'll be back. So it's not just based on your opportunity cost. You have to identify what's going to be next. And there are different ways to do this. At the start of Solana NFTs, which is what I'm going to talk about, due to my job, I was on top of them and I could see it coming. I was lucky enough to get Solana at the start, but I wasn't experienced enough to see where it was going. You need both experience and conviction to be able to make a decision. Having seen that Solana thing and then seeing Ethereum NFTs and how they performed, when Solana NFTs first came up to me, I was like, the risk reward on this is too big to ignore. It's worth allocating some funds to maybe, if they work, it comes up good. Now, one thing people need to, in general, before I go into the details, you need to know why you're getting into NFTs. There are three ways I'd look at it. The first one is you're going in to make money. If you're going in to make money, you are looking to buy and trade. You come in with fixed targets, you're buying and you're selling, you know when you sell, and you don't have regrets about, I missed this when it went up, or you factor in, and there's a strategy I'll outline in a second how you do that. The second one is you come in for the art. You're a collector. You don't care about the price, you buy what you like. And that is, in my opinion, that is what the sharpest people do. Why? You trust that long-term, your opinion is going to shape the market and you act accordingly. You buy things you like, you express that opinion, and you think and you expect people will follow along with that volume. And in some cases, we've seen really good one-of-one art just be successful due to it being really nice. There's been nothing else past that. And in those cases, people who bought it simply based on aesthetics are rewarded. And the rewards in those cases might be much bigger than in anything else. You bought a Fidenza because you liked why they looked at. Well, fuck, you've made a lot of money. Same thing if you bought, for example, John Lee's first works at auction on Solana. You like the way they look. They were clearly the best aesthetically looking art at that point on Solana. If you were like willing to say, look, I like this, I'll take the risk on it, you were going to be up multiple hundreds just due to how they appreciated in the span of 3 months. So every sector has its own like place where it goes. And then the third one is when you get involved with NFTs and you look to basically utilize the staking and you go a bit more deep into the ecosystem to go further. But what I'm going to do now is go into my experiences with them. I fell under the first category. I was looking to make money at the start, and now I've turned into the second category after being successful with the first one. The other thing, just like they say with anything which is dangerous, you need to know your limits. Don't push your luck too hard, and you'll see how I pushed my luck and it backfired as well. So long story short, I'm doing research in Solana. It's around July or so. I've got a nice stack of Sol. It's been sat there taking 10% interest. Sol's done a huge like 50x. The interest itself is, nice amount of money now. And this Sol is Sol which I didn't pay out of my pocket. I'm working as well, so I don't need to worry about my day-to-day expenses, and NFTs are coming up. So to me, this is a golden opportunity to take advantage of the market. And I see Solana Monkey Business come out. At the start, you would just send them Sol on the hope that they'd give you back an NFT. But at this point, like I said, I knew that my limit was the money I had from the staking, which I'd compounded. So it was, 2 Sol per NFT, or however much I paid for them at that point, was a risk I was willing to take. I'd made that deal with myself. Now, at that point, I still hadn't realized how big NFTs could become. I had a limit. I was like, I'm going to go up to like 20 or 30 Sol maximum that I'm going to spend on these, and I'm not going to go more than that. Long story short, I mint 2 of these. I get one which I still use in my profile picture on Twitter. Same yellow glass as me and smoke. So I instantly felt the connection. I was like, I'm not going to sell this one. But I had some other ones. I had one which is Solana skin. It was rare. And like I said, at the start, I went in there to make money. I didn't go in there thinking this is going to moon. This was money. It's like, this is rare. And there was hype in the Discord. 60 Sol. Can I sell it for 60? I found someone for 60 Sol. Boom, done. Over the counter escrow. 2 days after the mint. How much a Solana skin fur is worth now? 1,800 Sol. So Bill made the 60x, but missed out on the 1,800x. Did I care? No. I got my 60 Sol. I went and bought my car. I bought my first car with that money. Why? I don't regret it, because yes, I could have had this picture worth however much down the line, but I also needed a car. So sometimes real life is more important. And remember, I went in with this target. Like I said, I minted 2. I sold one for 60, and then with that money, I bought my car and I bought some more monkeys, not the expensive ones, floor price ones. Because I was like, well, I sold one. Clearly there's something here. People are buying it. Let's just buy a few more just in case. Things go by. Solana Monkey Business doesn't do that well. And then we come up to Degen Apes. And oh my God, Degen Apes, you could see that if you could mint, it would be profitable, right? Now, the big difference here is that with Degen Apes, it was a 6 Sol buy-in price. Why do I say this? Well, a lot of people like cheap mints. You say, if it's cheap, I can afford it. But on the other hand, if it's cheap, you can't put in liquidity. To make money, you not only need to find the right thing and have it perform, but you also need to have enough liquidity in it. Winning something, betting $100 on it isn't going to make you rich. But if you can get 100,000 in it and it does a 10x, well, fuck, all you need is 1 to work out, right? Mm-hmm. So with the Gen Apes, it was 6 Sol a mint. So it's like immediately, if it's 6 Sol and it goes 2 or 3x, you're looking at a really good, not a big X. People say, I did 100x, great. Did you do 100x on $10 or 10,000? Because I prefer the 5x on a big amount of money than a huge X on a small amount, depending on the numbers. So with the Gen Apes, we knew we were going into a good environment. And this is why I say, with Ethereum projects, this is what we see. High buy-in price, if it does a 3 or 4x, suddenly you're not looking at, I made $300. You're looking at, oh shit, I made like $15,000 because Ethereum was worth $3,000. There's like levels to how much you can go in. And obviously, the higher the mint price, the more competitive it is. You need more capital. People with more capital are more competitive. It's harder. For anyone entering the space, start with the cheap stuff. It's easy there. If you're active enough, you'll get them, you'll be able to flip them, and then you can work your way up to the big boy market, but you need to learn. Anyways, back to my story. So the 6 Sol, I'm like, fuck yes. Get the girlfriend in, 4 laptops, 2 VPNs, 2 wallets with Phantom, 2 of them with Solid, because Solid had smaller latency, dedicated RPC node from Genesis Go to try and route the transactions quicker. I was prepared for this one. Day of mint comes, candy machine fucking crashes. No one gets in. It wasn't even a candy machine. Only 600 got minted. The dev shut down. One of my co-workers was a community mod for them. He left the project. He quit. He was like, fuck them. They're not communicating. But the Gen Apes had so much hype that Solana couldn't let it fail, right? So Solana sent in Jordan and Balaz, the 2 developers from Solana, and they wrote Candy Machine, which is what every NFT product has used ever since, for the Gen Apes, and they wrote this in the night. But because they were working and they were burning the midnight oil, well, my girlfriend went to bed, but I stayed up. I worked late hours. And I was writing a piece called NFTs, Weird, Wonderful, and Worth a Lot. And just as I pressed publish, they dropped the mint link. And, I thought this wasn't happening today. So I'd relaxed. The laptops were still there, but they weren't on. So I started moving the laptops. I started minting. I had set aside, I said, because I'd started seeing the potential. I was like, I'm going to mint up to 60 Sol of these. Because I was like, there's no way I'm going to get 10. I was like, if I get 1, I'm happy. But no, because they dropped it like that and I was quick and everything was prepared, I minted 14 of them. I went above my limit. I just kept on minting across all the wallets. I was like, I don't know if they're going, just go, go, go. And the thing is, I was minting. I wasn't even looking at what I got. I finished minting. It's like 3 a.m. Fuck it, I'm going to bed. Call it a night. I looked at the floor price and things. One thing is, at the start, when a collection finishes minting, you don't know what the floor price should be or where it is. So when you're in the first category, like I was with Solana Monkey Business, you go in and you know where you take your profit, right? You're not fucking around here. You know, I go in and I'm going for this much. Here, though, I knew that there was so much hype. I was like, there's probably going to be a better chance if I leave it a day and people wake up and see the shithole that the mint was, and then I can sell on to people who want to buy. So I go to bed, I'm like, I'll deal with this tomorrow. Wake up the next day, go in, go through the wallets, check one of the wallets. You know, most of them were like normal, and then shit. There was a one, like not a one of one, it's a one attribute, fully gold ape with a Michael Jordan jersey, which is, it's one of the unique ones, like it's worth a lot. But like we said, at this point, I was working 2 jobs. I was working as a lecturer at college, teaching engineering. I was also working as a researcher. This was on the side. And I did not want to do my job anymore. Like, I did not want to go and teach kids engineering. I liked crypto too much. I see the ape and I'm like, look, like I've already bought a car. Get rid of this. What else do I need? Like, you know, after a certain point, if you can ensure yourself some certain financial security, you don't have to work on work you don't want to do, and you have a car and you can cover your living expenses, and you can do that by trading pictures on the internet, you'd be dumb to not do it. Like, I know people hold apes and things, but guys, like, I want to live nicely, right? That's why you do the NFT thing. You make your money first and then become altruistic and passionate. So I look at the ape, I'm like, right, well, am I going to sell this? I look at the floors and things, I'm like, right, 690 sol. Why? I knew there was a lot of hype around the apes. I knew there was a lot of hype around Solana. My opinion was that Solana would appreciate quicker than the apes would. And I wanted to turn back into Sol because I knew there were going to be more NFTs coming and I wanted more liquidity. The ape current valuation from reliable sources is around 2,000 to 2,500 sol. But are you going to find a buyer at that price? And this is where the question comes in. You've got the rare one. You're going to diamond hand and hold it, great. When the hype goes, how are you going to sell it? Who's going to be your buyer, right? These are questions that you don't think of immediately, but I was like I said, I wanted money. So I was like, 14 apes, right? Got my girlfriend, which one do you like? She's like, I like that one. I was like, I like that one, right? These 2 are mine. The rest of them, let's set them at prices that'll go. Does that mean I have to take a little bit of a haircut on my profit? Fuck it, but I'm liquid, right? And I sold them in time. So I sold the gold one, went for 690 within 1 day. Someone paid it. I found the guy like 3 months later. He bought it. He still got it. He wants to sell it to Michael Jordan. I'm going to say good luck to him. I hope he makes as much as I made from it. But I still think I made the right decision there. And then, you know, so far I've just had 2 huge fucking wins. I'm batting 100 on the mints. It's been great. I've made more money than you'd make working for years in a normal job. And you're like, fuck, Bill's lucky. Well, let me tell you now when it goes a bit to shit. We have Rocks coming up. Rocks was this like fantasy basketball, like artistic thing. And this was like peak NFT hype. They do this limited, they do 5 one-of-ones, and they start going for hundreds of thousands on Solana. I'm like, fuck, this is going to be big. So what do we do? Of course, they were doing whitelist mints if you had a Solarian. I already had 6 Solarians that I'd minted for a really cheap price back in the day. And Solarians were doing all right. They were like at 15 sol. And at this point, I had a very clear thesis. Solarians were going to be the cyberpunk, the crypto punks of Solana. The Gen Apes were going to be, the Gen Apes and Monkey Business were going to be, one of the 2 was going to be the Bored Apes of Solana together. One of them was going to be the winner, and I had both. And now, well, I already had Solarians, and they're doing this whitelist mint with this really good project. Let's buy some fucking more. So what do? Well, we have this huge profit. Let's buy 200 sol worth of Solarians and go and mint whitelist. Great. Don't forget, I already had 6 of these fucking robots already, right? I didn't need more exposure. But at this point, because I was doing so well and I was up so much, I was like, fuck it. This is another 3x with volume. Boom. No, it wasn't. It was a very bad outcome. I don't even know what they're worth now. But in total, I think I spent like 250 sol on Solarians. They're probably worth like 30 sol now altogether. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm in profit, man. This is why I don't care. But look, I missed that one. Anyways, and then we go on to Aurorians. Aurorians was my third to last day at my normal 9 to 5 job. And I woke up that morning and I turned to my girlfriend and I went, I don't want to go to work today. I should stay home and mint these. I just shouldn't go in. And if I don't care what they say, I'm leaving anyways. I thought about it, but I was like, fuck it, it's not right. It's not ethically correct to like just go AWOL out of nowhere without telling them. And like my manager was my friend, so I was like, fuck, I can't do him like that. I go in, I tell the girlfriend, stay at home, get the laptop set up. She wasn't busy at that time, or Rowan's was minting, get ready, let's go. Burner wallets, of course, I've been saying from the start, after the Gen 8 mint, I was saying burner wallets, someone is going to do like a phishing scam. I warned everyone at the company as well. I told them, guys, Aurorians, like they are 5 sol, but well worth buying it and flipping it. Gets to the day, I'm at the college, connect, boom. Sold out, can't buy any. Girlfriend doesn't get any. My first failed mint. And I was like, I knew I was doing my shit correct because there's a reason I got the other ones. And suddenly I don't get this one. I start tweeting at Raj on Twitter, Solana's founder, what the fuck is this? Like, dude, don't tell me this wasn't like sold out by the team and private with like private links. Long story short, what they did, they hosted multiple minting links to make sure that the load wouldn't be an issue. So they'd always have a server up. And some of these links got leaked beforehand. So some people were able to access them earlier, and there was such demand that they got minted. Of course, one of my co-workers minted, and Aurorians did a typo and left it at 1 sol instead of 5 sol, right? So you even got a discount on the mint price. At the same time, though, there was a huge phishing attack where they took the mint side, remade it. They had this pre-planned with a very similar URL, and if you tried to mint, it would drain your wallet. And a lot of people got caught out by that. I didn't get caught out by that, but thank God, like, look, if you get rug pulled like that, that is the worst thing possible because you spend so much time working towards it. It's why you should use burners and why OPSEC in crypto is really important. Remember, crypto, although people say we're all going to make it, etc., it's highly adversarial. What I mean, it's basically PvP on steroids because it's money involved and no one will give you free money. People are out here to take your money and steal from you. So you need to be super secure with OPSEC. Do not trust anyone when it comes to funds. Like, great, I'm on the podcast. You ask me to send Sol or give you access to wallets, block immediately. Because you know there's no good reason why anyone would ask for that, right? There are clear rules you have and you know where the limit is. Like, if you need something, ask me. Don't ask me for wallets, share screens. You should know these things in advance. But anyways, back to the Aurorians. So peak hype, and I'm like, fuck, like, this thing is going to go like ETH, peak bull market, Sol's pumping up. Like, the bags from the Gen 8s are going wild. If I was looking at US dollars, I have like a 3,000x in terms of USD because I looked at when I bought the Sol to buy the 8 and then when I sold and how Sol performed. It was wild. Aurorians, fuck it, 60 Sol, same day aftermarket, 2 of them, 120 Sol. 2 people got a 60x from me. Current floor price, 23 Sol. Do I even like the ones I bought? No, they're not even that nice. I bought a really nice one for 23 Sol the other week because I like the project. Big L, right? You know why? Because I didn't follow my own rules. I'm the person who's selling it for 60 Sol. I'm not the one who's buying it. I broke my own rule and look what happened to me. That was like the peak hype of NFTs. Like, it doesn't get better than that. And then things calmed down a bit. You know, I had work. We were looking to mint our own collection, development work. And then my first ever podcast guest for Cryptonary and was Frank from Genesis Go. And Genesis Go are an infrastructure provider company on Solana. They're very good. They provide RPC services to more than 60% of all Solana DApps. So they're an established presence. And Frank came onto that podcast. If you go and listen to it, you'll hear some things about Shadow and the super shadowy coders from back in July. And there is the members version, which sadly you have to pay for that. But in that version, you get a sneak peek in July about the super shadowy coder tokenomics and what they were planning to do. Bear in mind that this was available nowhere else on the market at this point. So we're back in November, and 2nd of November, Frank and Genesis Go decide to do the mint, the super shadowy coders mint. And all they've said so far is that somehow you'll be getting tokens from this mint. 2.5 Sol mint price on the day that Sol was at its all-time high at $260. They sold out within 6 to 10 hours, I remember. And I minted around, I think 10, no, I think 7 or 8. I minted some for our NFT project and I minted some for myself. And then I bought some on the aftermarket. I told the company to buy some as well, like co-workers. And then, you know, I knew they were going to do tokens. And this was a buy based simply on knowing the people. Now, one of the advantages of working in crypto and my job is that I get to talk to developers and project leads and get a feel for them. I go to the conference in Lisbon, I get to talk to projects. I get to know what the teams are like. You know, if I like them as people and I like what they think and what they're doing, it gives me an idea of where to go. I mean, can you cut things off the record?
I mean, for now.
Fuck it, we go on the record.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I don't mind this one. They're selling anyway. I was in Lisbon and, you know, there's been recent scandals about certain launch platforms on Solana. I'm not going to name names, but the certain founders, when I met them, they said to me, oh shit, dude, we've been partying 4 days in a row. We shut down the clubs. We got girls out here. And immediately you start thinking, this is people's money that they're doing to do this. It's not like their money. And that's a red flag. It tells you immediately that this is not somewhere you want to be. Same thing when I talk to other projects. I'm like, where are you guys thinking of going? You know, you've launched, you've got the community. What's next? And they can't give you a coherent answer, or they can't talk to you properly. Well, shit, I'm not holding that thing, right? You know,
Yeah.
it makes sense immediately. You know, I go in, when I was at that conference, I was talking with Grape. They do like Solana NFT analytics. One of them said to me, he's Greek, so I'm Greek as well. And obviously when you meet someone who's the same, you talk the same language, you can say things you can't say otherwise. It was like, dude, Boryoku dragons, at that point, it wasn't a big collection. It was small time. It was like the wallet holders, like the people who own them, whales. If there's one collection, that's the one, like try that one. I looked at it, I was like, fuck, no. But thing is, I'm a data analyst. I worked as a quant. Why am I not looking at my own data when I've been told this? Turns out Boryoku went really well. So like I said, these things give me insight and give me advantages which most people don't have. Another one, this was recent. A lot of people in our community were asking me about Elfinity. And I was like, guys, I haven't done any research into it. The only thing I know is that the lead developer works with the lead developer from Synthetify, who we've had on the podcast. The lead developer from Synthetify is really fucking good and they build well. I bought simply because I know the person and I know what they do. 5x, just based on betting on people. And at this point, for me, NFTs have now become betting on people because I've had my fair share of minting it based on hype and making a huge amount of money, but also being on the other side of that and having to buy on the hype and get fucked. And what I found out, the best way you do it, find a team that you trust and you know. Docs, they come on, they talk to you, find out they care. And that is how you find a project, in my opinion.
That's actually great advice, because if you look at regular investors for startups and so on, they also most of the time, for sure not only, but most of the time invest into people as well. You know,
Exactly.
that's a big factor there. So because
Now, one last thing I'll add on to this. My general rule, because everyone in the Cryptonary community, we have an NFT channel and people come in and they ask me about Solana NFTs. And I'm sure a lot of people have questions. There is one simple rule at the moment to avoid getting rugged with Solana NFTs. If the project does not have its own mint site, you do not mint. It is a rug pull. Why? Kevin here, you've done development work as well on Solana. Candy machines and setting up the Web3 part of a collection for a good developer is easy. When I say a good developer, there is enough documentation out there now and enough guides that you can do it yourself. Back in November when I did it, there was no documentation or guides. You had to work things out going through code. Now, there are YouTube tutorials. Everything is easy, right? Sometimes you don't even need to use the blockchain. You can just use front ends to do things or launch pads. Now, my question is though, you're buying an NFT collection on the blockchain, and yet you're investing in a team which has no one that can do the simple things on the blockchain. How is it going to be a successful blockchain project, right? So these projects, immediately, you only buy them for the artwork, if you like it. There is no other reason or no other rationale. If they tell you we'll do this, they can't because you don't have a developer. It's that simple. If they can't get a developer before the mint, well then clearly the project's not good enough and they're not invested enough into it. It's that simple for me.
Yeah.
And that is my line on Solana at the moment. And that's why I haven't found anything good recently, because I'm just not seeing it. Last thing I'll add as well, you know this as well, in the industry, there is a huge demand for developers, but there are only so many that are competent. And what that means is that the best projects will get the best developers and will continue to become better until new developers come in. Sometimes you find a project with a new developer that's good. Like they were working a classic job, they've moved over and they're really good at what they do, and they pick things up and they go really well. One of those for me was Kaizen Corps. The developer they had, I learned a lot from him, even though he wasn't a Solana dev, but he learned things and did things very quickly, and I could see the GitHub. When I see that, oh shit, the code works. This guy knows what he's doing. They want to do a game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he can do the Web3 stuff for this. But when I don't see a GitHub from the project and you're going to do a game, how? How, my friend? Where? Great, you're going to do a game. How are you going to put the NFTs in it? Great, you hire Fiverr artists, they make the game for you. It's beautiful. How are you going to put the NFTs in it? It's that simple, right?
Yeah, basically, it's not only Solana, right? If you look at EVM-based blockchains, it's the same as well.
Pixelmons.
Yeah,
Did you not see the Pixelmons art reveal? So $70 million raised in terms of Ethereum. They paid artists and did shitty, reworked artwork. They dropped it and people were like, what the fuck is this? And people paid 3 ETH for this on a roadmap with shitty artwork. Like, sometimes people deserve to get rugged, right? There are red flags everywhere. Like, you're minting on a Launchpad project and they make you do 500 things to get on a whitelist. It's a rug pull. I hate to tell you it. Let me break it to you, my friend. You're not buying it. One other thing, ask for the things that they deliver to be upfront. When I say upfront, you're going to do this. Do some things and then mint. Anyways, I've talked. I think I've rambled enough about this. I think hopefully after listening to that, you should have a good idea of what to look for in NFT projects and how to avoid them. Yeah.
Amazing, Bill. Thank you. It was incredible insights, especially for the Solana ecosystem. Basically, one short question for the end. 3 very simple key takeaways for today. What are the 3 most important aspects to look for in a Solana project? And what makes an NFT project great?
The first thing I would say that you look for is the dev team. So simple system, go on the page, look at the team. For every developer or engineer on there, +1. For every marketer, -1. If you get a score above 0, it's good. It means they have more developers than marketers, which probably means that they will build more than they market. So there's going to be an edge there simply due to more development being done than people are aware of because the marketing is bad. On the flip side, more marketing means people are going to know so much about the project, but nothing's going to be done. And that is how you get hype, high, and then dump when people go, shit, they're not doing anything. That's the first tip. My second tip is go in with rules. When I say rules, you heard me. When I started, I had my rules and I followed them. And then I got a bit too happy. And although I didn't break them too badly, I still broke them. And what was the outcome? Negative.
Yeah, it's the same basically with regular investing as well, crypto in general, right? If you have your rational thoughts about it, your thesis, as you said, and you violate that, it's mostly a bad outcome.
Exactly. And my third one is that be extremely wary and careful. And when you do find something, don't spread yourself thin. What I mean, there will always be opportunities that come up. No one's going to stop the opportunities. What this means is that if you're not 100% on something, take the money and leave it until you find the 100% thing. Like I said, finding one thing and hitting it correctly is better than anything else. That is, like, for me, I bought Super Shadowy Coders. They started going up. I got the tokenomics. I bought more. Why? Because I know this is the one. I'm not going to buy the new thing that's minting. That 2 sol, it adds up. 2 sol here, 2 sol there, thing. Keep it on the side. When you find it, this is how much I'm going in for, and this is what happens. It's that simple. Rules and conviction, and know where you are in the market, if you're the little fish or if you're the shark.
Okay, amazing. Thank you for that. Thank you for all our viewers. If you have any questions, drop them below. We are happy to answer them. And thank you, Bill, for being here. It was a pleasure talking with you. And wish you all the best for your NFT collection as well, and Cryptonary. And
Thank you. It was really enjoyable to be on here. Thank you for letting me ramble for half an hour and just discuss NFTs in general. I hope some of the insights and you can learn from some of the mistakes I've made, and hopefully you learn from some of the successes as well. Like we said, any questions, I'll be happy to come and answer them in another episode. So please drop them in, especially if you've got any specific ones. And the last thing I'm going to shout out is have a look at what the guys here are doing, Kevin and Wavect, and for data analytics on Solana, Hello Moon is a great option for you to make sure that when you do buy things, you know how things are, because that is something that's lacking on Solana. And I think it would benefit everyone to have access to good data. And as Kevin said, at the bottom of the podcast, you will find links to certain things that should help you in your NFT journey on Solana. And if you do listen to my course, thank you for your time, and please come and ask questions. Thank you again all. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Bill. See ya.